Fighting for truth, justice, strippers, and whiskey. Did I mention strippers?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, right there.
I'm leaving right after this drink. Rock and roll whiskey and other stories with Brian Shaw.
Cheers. And welcome to episode 37 of I'm Leaving Right After This Drink, rock and roll, whiskey, and other stories. And as always, as we get right into it, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing whatever you do to support this podcast. I greatly appreciate it. And that includes those of you who have kindly donated your hard-earned dollars to buy myself or Tits McGee a shot of whiskey. You can do that just by scanning that QR code there. And of course, we're going to be honest. You're not buying me a shot of whiskey. I mean, we know you're buying Tits McGee a shot of whiskey. I mean, just look at those things. They're nice, right? Yeah. See, if you're not watching, that's what you're missing. And if you are watching, hey, nice job. So if you've for the first time, if you're just tuning in and you're like, who is this knucklehead that I'm watching? Hey man, I'm just a guy who worked in the radio and TV business for a number of years, about 15, 18 years, something like that. Got to meet a lot of people, meet some cool people, some assholes, and just like to sit around and tell some stories, whether that's about some of those people that I met, whether that is about just what happened last weekend, my guitar collection, whatever it is, man. That's why the title is what it is: rock and roll, whiskey, and other stories. So first things first, let's get into it. Let's talk some rock and roll. New Stones, yeah, of course. The Rolling Stones, 82 years old and still putting out better music than the 30-year-olds or the 20-year-olds or the 50-year-olds. It's pretty crazy, if you ask me, that the Stones can keep coming back and kicking ass. And I think they are the only band that has never said we're doing a farewell tour. Like all these bands doing a farewell tour. Like I just saw today that Journey added 40 more dates to their farewell tour. The farewell tour that's going to last 10 years, 5 years, 4 years. Megadeth, farewell tour. Kiss, they're of course known for their farewell tour that started in like 1996. So all these bands are doing it. Like, why? Right? Just keep touring. You don't have to announce the farewell tour. I mean, I know some of it is a money grab, some of it isn't. Some of them, like, Scorpions, they've been on a farewell tour for a while too. And man, it just is nothing like what the Scorpions used to be. And the Stones, though, are the Stones. And I say this, and I have many conversations with friends about the Stones and going to see them again. And guess what? If they toured again, I will be there. And most likely, Tits McGee will be there also, because we both love the Rolling Stones. And you know what? Drinking out of my Rolling Stones whiskey glass tonight, as a matter of fact. Yeah, check that out. It's pretty fucking badass. And you'll notice the drink in it is not normal Jack Daniels, because once again, I forgot to, go to the liquor store and buy, some legit Jack Daniels. And so tonight I had some Jack Fire laying around still, and some Jack Apple. And you mix them together with a splash of cranberry juice. And dude, I'm telling you, it is delicious. That's what the drink is called in my world. It's just that damn good. It's a little sweet. Dude, I'm telling you, it'll hit home, and you have a couple of these and you'll be like, whoo, it sneaks up on you. So yeah, good on the Rolling Stones for continuing. The two songs that I've heard so far are great tracks. And, I saw Ronnie Wood on Jimmy Fallon the other night. I watched it on YouTube. Like, I hate Jimmy Fallon. And like, there's part of me that can appreciate like his fandom of the Rolling Stones and a fan of just rock music. But at the same time, like, dude, relax, chill out, like, calm down, quit fanboying out, even though I might be the fanboy if I met Mick Jagger, because, dude, it's like the greatest frontman in rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? So, again, just my opinion. Of course, your opinion would not be correct unless you say the greatest rock and roll band is the Rolling Stones. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I'll tell you what, man, I've seen the Stones now, I guess, I think 4 times now. And every time, you never disappoint. You never leave a Rolling Stone show going, man, they just didn't do it for me tonight. They're still doing it. They're still kicking ass. And it's an unbelievable thing at this point in time at 82 that they're still going. And I love it. Let's see what else we got going on in music. Oh, of course. Lots of rock and roll shows happening. It's been a great 2026 so far. And myself and Tits McGee just got back from Key West seeing George Thorogood and the Marshall Tucker Band. And that was an interesting trip, to say the least. And I need to thank my brother for hooking us up with those tickets, and also for the place to stay as we road trip down to Marathon in Key West. And it was a it was a great fucking time, man. I'm just gonna say that. And if you've never been to Key West, you should go. It's great people watching. And if you go to a concert at this amphitheater, which was actually a very cool place to see a show, it's like, instead of like walking around people watching, you can just sit and just go, wow, the people watching has come to me. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're normal people watching, and I feel like my normal people watching is like maybe like a 5 or 6. And I think when you're at the Key West amphitheater, your people watching is easily like a 12. Yeah, it's just everybody you can imagine is there, and it's just craziness. You see people of all shapes, sizes, age range, even though at this show, Marshall Tucker and George Thorogood, the average age was probably 77. Probably was really 87, but the couple of the little kids that were there that were like 10 years old, 12 years old, they brought that average down. So that's kind of where we were at for that show. And it was an awesome time hanging out down there. And let's just talk about that show for a minute. Now, we talk about Marshall Tucker first, because they opened the show. And I looked up while we were there, like, who's still original in this band? And the singer is the only one that's still original in the Marshall Tucker Band. And I'm not even sure if he was like the original singer, but I think he's been in the band since like 1977 or something. So maybe he is the real guy or the original guy. I'm not sure. But the guy really can't sing anymore. And you're kind of like, I get why he's doing it, because, he's 78. And if he stops doing it, he's probably going to fucking just die, right? Because he's not doing anything. He's not active. His brain's not going and all that stuff, right? So keeping the Marshall Tucker Band going and staying on the road keeps him going. It keeps him moving. It keeps him active. And so I get it. But when you're sitting there and you're listening to him sing and you're like, dude, you really can't do it anymore. I mean, it's kind of like if I was going, can't you see? Can't you see? Like, it's bad. Like, and we know it's bad. That's why I'm not a singer. Not to say my guitar playing's that much better, but I definitely know I can't sing. Maybe if I tried, I don't know. But it was weird. And it was good, but you're kind of like, I wouldn't buy a ticket to see Marshall Tucker, like headline. And it was cool because he was with Thorogood. So like, I'm there to see George Thorogood. There's a cool opening band. Awesome. The interesting part to me was that he was telling stories before all the songs and giving you like a background of those songs, except Can't You See? And I don't even know, he kind of did it for like Heard It in a Love Song, which I think is their other big hit. And you would think I would remember this because I played these two songs 85 million times over the course of my career in radio. And I'm pretty sure that's their two songs. And yet I'm like, dude, no backstory for Can't You See? Come on. Yet you told me the backstory to some song about wrangling cattle or something. Like, it was so strange, man. But again, it was cool. The keyboard player / flute player, which I didn't realize that they had that many songs with a flute in it. And wow, sure enough, obviously I tuned those songs out when I was playing them on the radio. That guy was really good. He sang a couple of songs that were really good. The guitarist sang Can't You See, which, thank God, that was probably a good move on their part to not have him sing that. And listen, again, I'm not necessarily knocking the Marshall Tucker Band because, listen, I get it. It's keeping him going and active, like I said. I really have a feeling, though, like when that guy passes away, it's going to be another, like, Foreigner, because Foreigner really doesn't even have any original members in it. And I know Lou Gramm is coming out now and doing a few shows with those guys and only playing like a handful of songs. So is that still really Foreigner that I should be paying $80, $90, $100 for? I don't think so. But, hey, if you can still get the cash, why not, right? So who knows what's going to happen once that guy, passes on in the Marshall Tucker Band. But let's talk about George Thorogood, because that's really what this is all about. This is why we went to the show in the first place, was to see Lonesome George. And I've mentioned this before in a number of podcasts prior to this one. I absolutely love George Thorogood. George Thorogood was the first concert I ever saw with the Allman Brothers when I was 15. And ever since then, man, every time I had an opportunity to see George, I saw George. And I can't tell you how many shows I've seen, but I can tell you this much. It's upwards of 40. We're probably nearing 50 shows at this point, if not maybe just over that 50 threshold. It's hard to say. Because, again, seeing him when I was 15 to now, I've seen him years in, 2, 3, 4 times in that year. It's crazy, and it's probably not normal, but hey, he's a great showman. He's super fun to watch. He's a great entertainer. And I think that's the other part that makes you want to go. You hear all the hits. You hear his, Bad to the Bone, One Bourbon, One Scotch, and One Beer, I Drink Alone, and of course, whenever I hear Get a Haircut, that one always hits a little bit harder because, I have an older brother named Bob. And that song just kind of hits in the right spot sometimes. And it's always funny, to be singing along to the song and knowing that Tits McGee knows that I have an older brother named Bob, and we just kind of laugh when that song is on. But, I will say this, and I don't think that George Thorogood gets the credit that he deserves for being the guitar player that he is, especially playing the slide. This dude fucking rules on a slide guitar. And so let's talk about that for a second, because the dude is just awesome when it comes to playing slide. The solo in Gear Jammer is one that you'll just kind of go, wow, dude, it's just fucking killer. And, for the first time, I actually heard George on stage go, I can play this motherfucker, pointing to his guitar. So that was pretty awesome. And that was really, I think, the first time I heard George cuss since about 1990. Or 91 when I first saw him, because he doesn't really cuss anymore during the show. A lot of kids are there, not in Key West, just a couple. And but you know what, man, I've had the pleasure of meeting George. I have interviewed George. I've got to bring him on stage, and so it's like this. I've never done that with any other artist where I got to do all of those things, and so it's kind of one of those deals. I think, my brother Steve kind of turned me on to George Thorogood when I was a younger, kid. And so I guess it's just all those things rolled up into one that makes me go, dude, there's just a love for George Thorogood there that I just won't miss a show. And even probably a few months ago, I remember seeing a Facebook memory that was like, going to see George Thorogood tonight, probably one of the last times I'm going to see him, if not the last time. And nope. It's probably been 3 or 4 more times since that post a few years ago. So, pretty crazy. I think I'll have the George Thorogood interview up on my website by the time this podcast goes. But if not, it'll be there. I'm starting to post a bunch of the old audio interviews that I have from my days in radio with guys from Def Leppard, Leonard Skinner, Gary Hoey's up there. So there's going to be some cool stuff up there as I'm adding that stuff to my website, which is just brianshaw.com. And so, yeah, man, my Thorogood interview will be up there eventually. And, just an all-around fun dude to go see live. And, also, I think George should get some credit for like introducing like blues rock to more people. Because let's face it, man, I think between him and probably like Stevie Ray and like the 80s, who was really introducing that audience to that kind of music? And Stevie Ray, of course, was doing a lot of like old school blues and covers that way. And George was doing that, but adding a little bit different flavor to it. So, man, I just, I can't speak enough about how awesome I think George Thorogood is. It eventually led me to go buy a George Thorogood fucking guitar, I think late last year maybe, or whatever. And yeah, man, I can't help it. There's just a love for that man that is fucking awesome to go see him live. And I'm never disappointed. Again, it's like walking out of a Stone show. I go, you know what? I've seen that whole shtick for the last 10 years, 15 years. It still makes me laugh. It still makes me go, dude, it's such a great show. And I will continue to see George until probably George goes, dude, I'm done. And hopefully George just never says, this is my farewell tour. And he just goes until he's just like, dude, I got to retire because I can't do it anymore. But man, it's always a fantastic show. And I love that it was down in Key West in a place I've never seen George Thorogood. And yeah, man, just fucking great times is all I can say. And that was kind of that. And the trip to the Keys, man, I'm telling you, it's a little weird. I will tell you this, just as a tip, just a tip. If you're ever in the Keys, make sure that you Uber or take a cab, because the Monroe County Sheriff's Department are not fucking around. Like, don't get pulled over by those guys, because if you do, you're definitely going to jail. They're not letting you slide for nothing. And we Ubered actually from Marathon to Key West. And let me just tell you that the Uber getting there is a hell of a lot easier to get than the Uber coming home. So just remember that too. If you do ever Uber from Marathon to Key West, no problem. Coming home, be prepared is all I'm going to say, to go through a few Uber drivers before you actually get to a driver who's going to drive you an hour back the other way late at night. But we tipped him very nicely, so he definitely got compensated for his gas and his time. So I'm just hoping that guy left me a good review, because my credit card initially got declined because I was in the Keys. And Bank of America decided, nope, we're not going to let that go through. So hopefully he didn't shaft me on my Uber rating. So there you have it, and there you are, my friends. Oh, and a quick shout out to Mo at Mo Colors before I wrap this all up. Dropped off a guitar to him to paint. He's going to make me a very fucking cool, kick-ass Paul Stanley inspired Iceman Ibanez American flag guitar. I'm hoping to have it back just in time for the 4th of July, which is my birthday is just a couple days before that. So I'm hoping I get it back by then and it's all put together. So the paint job will probably be done by then, but then I got to get my guitar guy to put it all together and hopefully get that thing in my house before the 4th of July. So Mo, thank you very much. Mo does kick-ass work. If you guys are interested in a paint job for your guitar or something else, feel free to hit me up and I'll happily give you Mo's information. And by the way, Mo, you don't have to pay me for that plug because nobody's watching. So it's all good, man. But he did an incredible job on my Dukes of Hazzard guitar. And I thought, you know what? If I got a flag on that one, we should do one with a U.S. flag. So thank you guys again for tuning in. We're going to wrap this up and get on out of here until the next episode. Feel free, like I said, hit that, scan that QR code and buy myself or Tits McGee a shot. I promise we'll give you a shout out if you give us a donation. And I'll also try and get some photos of myself and Tits McGee taking the shots that you have kindly bought for us during this podcast. Greatly appreciated. Cheers, my friends. We'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe. You dig?
God bless the internet.